to come out. The stock is up nearly 1% in trade. So we'll come back on Federal Bank when the NIM numbers are out.
Right. Speaking of the management that we are about to speak is Aurum. Proptech is scaling up its platform business. They have actually acquired housing.com at 458 crore. They're going to build India's first AI native real estate operating system. But, to speak more about this, what lies ahead, we are here joined by, we are here actually joined by the management who will be speaking about onto the Aurum Proptech, because a big deal when it comes to housing.com at 458 crore is scaling up its platform play with the proposed acquisition, and we need to speak about how this acquisition has been funded. What should investors expect when this acquisition will actually become the earning accretive in FY27. So to speak more about that, we are here joined by Mr. Onkar Shetye, who is managing director at Aurum Proptech. So welcome at NDTV Profit. Just wanted to understand the synergies expected from this acquisition of housing.com, which you have done at 458 odd crore.
Thank you so much for inviting me on the show. We've really worked hard for the last 4 to 5 years to stitch this integrated PropTech ecosystem at Aurum, which we call it Aurum PropTech ecosystem. It essentially covers the entire real estate life cycle for enterprises and also for the consumers, and uses technology to enable better consumer experience and, of course, better enterprise efficiency on both sides. In terms of synergies, there's clear synergies for both the teams. It's a win-win in a way for the housing business and also Aurum Proptech's business. The largest synergy, however, we see is that we are able to combine housing's marketplace dominance with Aurum Proptech's transaction management and fulfillment capabilities at the scale that we operate in. Today, every real estate journey typically starts online when a consumer searches for a property to buy, sell, or rent. And that intent is first captured by a search engine and then by a marketplace like housing.com. Housing today is one of India's largest digital real estate marketplaces. It attracts approximately 14 million monthly unique users on the web and 45 million monthly app sessions. They monetize this marketplace intent by selling listings, by selling advertising, by selling qualified leads to developers, brokers, and consumers. Aurum operates on the other side of the value chain, and through our ecosystem of transaction management across rental, sale, resale, and financing, which we operate at a scale of 15 cities across the country, we participate in the fulfillment side of the demand. We help consumers complete transactions, developers complete sales, brokers improve their productivity, and consumers access financing and rental solutions. So the real opportunity actually lies in combining both of these. And instead of stopping the monetization journey at the point of click, we are in a way leading it on to the transaction and completing the entire life cycle, thus increasing the LTV of each consumer that gets captured at the housing's marketplace.
Right. Got that too. So how is this acquisition being funded? If you could give details on that.
I'll give you a quick deal economic on this. The deal is really significant for us because from a point of view of the incoming shareholder, REA Group is one of the largest leading digital real estate companies across the globe. And in fact, they are the largest publicly listed PropTech businesses globally as well. They are listed for information. They're listed on the Australian Stock Exchange, and their market capitalization is approximately 35 to 40 billion. Equivalent to a 2 lakh crore. REA operates market-leading digital property platforms across multiple geographies, including the realestate.com.au, which is their flagship product, which is Australia's largest digital real estate marketplace. Now, it's significant in size as it is one of the largest PropTech deals done in the country. Aurum is acquiring 100% of housing.com at a 458 crore. As a part of the transaction, we will issue approximately 1.98 crore equity shares of Aurum Proptech at 231.42 per share. And post-issuance, REA will become a 24.9% shareholder in the company. So essentially, it's a complete debt-free, cash-free acquisition from our point of view at a very value-accretive transaction value.
And just wanted to understand, sir, is Housing.com profitable at this moment for your existing minority shareholders? Will this deal be EPS accretive?
You're right. I think this is one of the key themes that we have also worked very hard on. We ended FY26 at 412 crores of revenue, and we ended it at a minus 3% of PBT, which we really worked hard on. Last 2 quarters for us have been profitable. But now with Housing.com coming into our fold, we do see certain losses coming in for the next 2 quarters. Largely, housing does around 10 crores of revenue from the housing core business that they continue to exist and operate. And they do a significant loss of around 180 odd crores, which we feel we have a classic playbook of integration and turnarounds that we have demonstrated across various businesses that we have acquired in the last 2 years, where we've been able to successfully turn around a loss-making Proptech company into a profit-making Proptech company. And I can give you as many examples. From the same group, we acquired PropTiger last year in September 26. PropTiger at that point of time was doing an annual revenue of 80 odd crores. They were doing a loss. They are doing an expense of 105 crores. As of last quarter, they will do around 8% of profit after integration with Proptech.
Okay. 2 quarters of losses that could come in from Housing.com. After that, internally, what is your target? Where could the loss number come down to? When internally, what are you targeting it? When will Housing.com at least become profitable on the EBITDA level?
So we see largely around three odd quarters to bring this to stabilization and break even. We have identified key levers of where we see the losses to be reduced. Essentially, what's happened is Housing discontinued 2 of its operations last year, the Housing Edge business and certain businesses which they sold to us. But the teams typically that were operating these businesses were repositioned and continued on to. So we see certain efficiencies to be built in there. We also see certain efficiencies because the fulfillment and the transaction management business and capabilities that we bring on will be able to do certain cross and upsell, where we also see certain losses to be adjusted against higher revenues to be brought in. We have identified synergies worth 150 crores between Housing and Aurum Proptech's existing businesses, which will add to around 30-40% to the bottom line. So I think 3 quarters of stabilizations is what we are looking at to once we bring Housing into our fold.
Right. Now, sir, it's FY26, Aurum turned profitable. This is after, 4 years of losses that you have seen. Now, what about FY27? Because if Housing.com comes into picture, and of course, you'll have some kind of teething issues and, integration issues in start of the year. So, 1 crore of net profit you've seen in FY26. What about 27, 28? Will a company on a consolidated level will see losses?
So largely, I can talk about the existing projection, where we are looking to end FY27 at profit. If we look at Aurum Proptech's existing business standalone, but yes, we do anticipate certain losses coming at FY27 for Aurum Proptech with Housing. We are targeting a revenue projection of around 1,000 crores with the Housing business and the synergies that we unlock with them. It's early days, to be honest, to talk about profitability because it's a marketplace business. We are looking at adding transaction to it, which of course brings in a large flywheel of transaction revenue. However, we do anticipate certain efficiencies to be brought into the unit economics of the Housing business, which will better its profitability.
Right. And what market share target do you have when it comes to, or you are targeting when it comes to, property discovery and digital real estate transactions over the next 3 years?
So combined, we will become the largest marketplace and transaction business between housing and Aurum PropTech. And we don't see any similar model which is operational today between the existing PropTech players and companies. Each holds a certain part of the value chain. Somebody holds the discovery and search part. Some teams hold the transaction management part, but with housing and Aurum PropTech combined, we will own both, and that gives us the right to win and also the largest market share. But just to give you a quick number on this, we at housing we are between number one, number two in the search and discovery on web. In the app, we do dominate this space. We are the largest in India when it comes to app metrics and usage around it. In terms of transaction management, we will be we will be the top three in the country between the other two players when it comes to transactions of rental, buy, sell, and mortgages.
And lastly, sir, sorry if I missed this earlier, but I believe the company will also be issuing 51 lakh warrants to promoters. The funds that will be raised via this, what will be used for?
Thank you for bringing this out. Aurum PropTech has a very solid promoter in form of Aurum Ventures Group, which is a full stack real estate design, development, and asset management company. We do close to 20 million square feet of asset development in Mumbai metropolitan region, and the team has solid backing from the balance sheet of Aurum Real Estate. We do anticipate certain support coming in for the scale-up journey that we will do with housing to be provided from Aurum Real Estate Group.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us and giving us the way forward for the company post this big acquisition that you have announced. Well, that was the management. Let's also welcome in our fundamental guest, Lancelot Deconov, CIO of ValueX Wealth Connect. Sir, you heard the management, quite an optimistic growth plan that they have and a big acquisition that they have done. How are you looking at this counter? Is it a buy post this acquisition, or one should wait and watch?
Good afternoon, Sumit. I think, looking at this acquisition, we need to put certain numbers in perspective. Like, for example, the market cap of Aurum PropTech is about 1,375 crores. This acquisition of 458 crores is not really a cash acquisition because they're issuing shares to the promoters at a certain price. And that is probably becoming maybe there'll be some dilution of equity. Over and above that, there's going to be further dilution in terms of the 51 lakh warrants that are being issued to the existing promoters. So that is going to help them maintain their equity stake in the expanded capital. However, when you look at the profitability of the existing business as well as the business they're taking on, the business they're taking on has a loss of 180 lakhs, and that's a difficult business to manage. Also, in the since there's no visibility of actually profits coming in, it's very difficult to to put a valuation to this, because monetization of these various assets is what is most important. Having the flow or the traffic to the site is not really going to drive valuations up. It is now more of how much can be monetized and how quickly can be expanded across the region. So I think it's necessary to wait and see maybe another 2-3 quarters. One would get a better idea of where this is moving, and probably at that time it would be you'll be better placed to take a call as to whether to look to invest or or maybe if it's high, then you can exit. But I think at this point in time, it's too early. We should just look at waiting and monitoring. This is an interesting development.
Right. Thank you. With that, let's slip into a short break and we'll address the other small cap stocks on the other side.